Okay. Here's just going through my head right now, based off that last discussion we just had. First, I'll address moving the mast. I think if we cut it off right underneath the deck, those two boards are still able to connect to that mast. Maybe we need to concrete it in, whatever, and then stabilize the bottom, and then we should just be able to take that out. But if we're coming from the back, I think the front end loader will still be able to handle it, and we'll have somebody on the back side of it to make sure it doesn't fall into the top deck. And then you just move it over, pull up the panels that are there, and put it in the new spot, and you can sit in the deck. Okay, now here's what I need to do, thinking wise, to determine what the best course of action is for the film. Not like whether extending the deck is worth it or not. Okay. I need to go and test force perspective a little bit, and do some of the movie magic stuff. So right now we're using like a 50 to 65% scale model, essentially. And I need to see if I can shoot it in a way to where the set looks big enough to not look too small. I think that's possible, but the main thing is I need to figure out how I'm going to do this fight scene on the boat. Consider how I would use cannons. I don't really have that written into the script, the cannons specifically. I just have the boat getting blasted from a wide angle, which I might have to end up using. But once again, like, I want to do revisions to the script, and we'll see where that goes. Okay, so like in my head right now, the set we have so far and the script we have right now, they're cute. Like, in my head, I see them as, okay, this is a nice amateur film. I don't know. I just don't want to. I feel like there may be a possibility of, like, when I look at the behind the scenes work here. Okay. When I look at that, my head goes to, yeah, this is a great film. This is like truly impressive. Like, this being made is, yeah. They thought this through. They took their options. So I don't want the story to fall short on that, and I don't want the boat to fall short of that because of, oh, well, would have taken an extra 2 months, when the difference between what it is now and what it would be after those 2 months and an extra $1,000 or whatever. Don't get me wrong, like, even to complete this film as it is, it's still going to take an immense amount of work. But just to add 2 months to that, and, having to set up a few more things when it's already going to take however long, when the gap between, what it would be now and what it will be, I think the gap could be like, exponentially huge, mainly in the script writing process. I don't think it's worth it. Like, at this point, like, we didn't get it. Like, if we were gonna get this out in 3 months, okay. But I just don't see it. So like, all right, here's actionable steps. I'm gonna write the script. Once I write this script and do this world building, we'll see what it requires, what would make it great. And we're going to see, based on what we already have, what we can pull off. It's going to take an intense amount of preparation and thought, but I want to get the opinions of talented people. I booked a call with a guy who does CG. I want to have like an organized, slideshow saying, okay, this is what I have. Then I have a storyboarded shot list of what I want and say, okay, is it possible to mirror this side of the boat in a shot like this and make it look like it's larger than it is? Is it possible to extend the back part with CG? Like, how long would that take? Like, is it worth doing that over filming or is it worth doing that over, actually extending the set physically? And then from there, I'll be able to make the best course of action. But yeah, dude, this is my shot to make something great. Like this is my shot, you know. This is, I've got a good bit of people behind me with this one. Not that what I've done so far is half-assed, but it's like, dude, you're 20% away from like greatness. Like you're 20% away from making something that's like, oh, I'm really proud of you. You worked hard on that. To be like, holy shit, like, whoa, like how did you come up with this? Like what? Like wow, like I want how does this guy, what's this guy's morning routine? You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's the end. Yeah. So especially with starting this content, I think that's a good thing to do. I don't know if I'm gonna extend this. I'm just considering the possibility because looking at this one, sorry, because looking at this set and then looking at my own, you know, they are different for sure, and it depends on how much. Like if it's just the one scene that we were talking about. Wait, where's the? I literally had these shots up. What the fro? Okay, whatever. Well, where's the set that I was just looking at? Are you kidding me? Alright, well, that pissed me off. Well, when it's comparing this to that, like, there's obvious blatant differences. Of course. I didn't expect to build something like this, but I think the scale needs to at least be. But if I can make this, I can fudge the scale. Like, I feel like someone who's super talented could make this work. So, I'm going to write the script, and whatever the script demands, we're going to do the 20-80 rule, okay? We're going to get 20% of the way there. We're going to get 80% of the way there for 20% of the work. 20% of the work gets 80% of the results. That's how we're going to play it. So if 20% of the work means, fudging it and doing the perspectives how they need to be done, and I can make this set appear at least big enough for what I have shot, then I'm going to do that. If, I'm unable to come up with creative ways to make it, then maybe I'll extend it. I do think constraints unlock creativity, so maybe I can find a way to make it work with this, and it can actually end up being something really cool instead of like, oh, okay, well, it's a pirate. I'm going to think about all of that. I need to go back to the script before I can make any more decisions. Guaranteed. So I'm going to make these shorts and then start the process of making content with that. And then I'm going to take my time and finish the script up, and we'll move on from there. This is gonna take real focus, long hours, simply just to get figure out everything we need to, like, the naivety needs to disappear. It needs to disappear. Um, yeah. So that's the plan. We are moving with trying to do. I mean, that's what this whole thing has been. Is let's get 80% of the results with 20% of the work. I mean, I find that rule to be pretty true. So, um, just need to figure out all the variables, see what the revised and added the newly. It's not just revised. It's like we're adding new stuff. We're deepening the world building. Um, in writing this script. So I don't know what it's going to demand, but I think this is how we make something great. I just do. I just do. Um, yeah. I mean, listen, we were already gonna miss the summer window. What's one more year? If we actually pull this off. But then the amount of hype we'll have, the amount, I just think, and yeah, I do go back to the series idea. It's like, hey, you spent 2 years on this film. Was that the point? I think it was, man. I think my timeline estimates and, like, you know, how I kind of structured it as a series may not have been accurate, but I think the central concept and the idea, the novelty, I think that remains true and true. I almost think the timeline and the central novelty concept were incompatible. Um, at least with the specific movie that I chose to do first. I feel like the freaking penguin right now. Let's watch the penguin edit.
Napoleon Bonaparte.
of these is the original? Yeah, it's this one.
Dr.
Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why? But one of them caught our eye, the one in the center. He would neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
It's like, listen, I I know this entire idea of re-going into the script and adding things and world building it and, you know, trying to write a story bigger than just a short film, but, you know, only making it, and then the idea of extending the set after verse, and the fact, like, I know how risky that is. I know how fruitless that venture could be, okay? If I lived in a vacuum, okay, and I was an immortal or something, this line of thought, this is where I would go. The fact that I'm considering not taking this line of thought, or the resistance there, is the real world factors of living on Earth, being a human in the world, being immortal, having limited time on the planet, fear of death, like, you know, spending more money than needed on, it might not even be, like, what do you, like, you're dreaming too big, kid, like, you know, but in terms of my craft, in terms of art, in terms of, like, what I want to make, where my heart is being pulled, and also, like, what I want to see for myself, my pride, it's like, make greatness. Like, I want to make greatness, and I don't feel like greatness is here yet. Like, I think the script needs to be rewritten. I think I was thinking a little bit too small. Like, imagine how great it could be if we just did this. Like, what would I be robbing myself of? You know, what would I be robbing you guys of? Like, if I just did this, okay? But I fully understand how fruitless that could be. I fully understand how, like, this could not be the greatest idea. And I'm a sophomore, right? Like let's put this into perspective, right? Like, I would be a sophomore in college if I was in college. You know, there's a certain amount of time where you're allowed to be young, okay? And have these feel-lucky dreams. I have to, like, this is another year, right? This is another year, and if I bet it all on this horse and it doesn't work, I'm a junior, and I've spent lots of money on a failed project, and I don't know how much more leniency that gets me. If anything, well, guaranteed, once I finish this, and there's no fruit, if there's no fruit from it, yes, I'm getting a job, and at that point, there will be an expectation soon to move out of the house, And at that point, it's okay. Well, now my expenses have gone up, and my bills, they got to be paid. And you know, like, what if I wanted to try again and make another movie? That's going to be extremely much more challenging than this. Okay, I get all of that. I get the idea initially for the series to be, okay, we're going to try and make this blockbuster movie, we're going to make one, and then we're going to make another one, and it's going to be a series, and people are going to follow it, and it's going to be interesting. And, you know, whichever one gets 1 million, we're going to make it into a real thing, okay? But if all of the movies are shit, then is it even, what's the point of the series? Like, I had this thought yesterday, okay? If I'm sitting, I had this thought yesterday, and it's counterintuitive, but this is how it works, okay? It's like, you're gonna spend all this extra time and all this extra money, and it's like gonna be wasted if it fails. Like, you're gonna waste it if it fails. Where if you just did what you have now and it failed now, you wouldn't fail as hard, you wouldn't fail as big. But the extra time and the extra money that I'm spending on this project is the very thing that's going to keep it from failing. It's gonna make all the time and effort I've spent thus far worth it. And if I don't put this in, then I'm guaranteed to flop. I'm guaranteed to fail, right? This is what's required. So yes, it takes longer than it would, and I might fail and I might run out of time if it does fail. But like, if I never put this effort in the first place, I never would have succeeded, you know? And that's this reoccurring thought in my head. And and that reality, I can't live with. Because I'm like, and I don't know if I'm thinking too far down the road here, but imagine I just say, okay, the set's good enough right now, the script's good enough right now, I want to get the shot in summer, I'm going to quickly build the other set. Yes, there's a sense of urgency to that. Honestly, it might probably be okay, but imagine if it doesn't and it flops, okay? Imagine if it doesn't get the views I expect. And then I start another movie, right? While maybe I'm working another job, and because that's what my parents expect now, and I'm not able to put it all on the line, and then I make another subpar movie, and it's just this progressiveness of mediocrity, where if I just put it all on the fucking line this one time and made it like legitimately as good as it could be, legitimately as good as it could be, and boom, overnight success, right? And that's just like, you know, the realities of like the world, but even more than that, like my own sense of pride in my art. I don't know if I can put out something when I know that I've already had the idea that could make it better. To you guys, it may seem like 90% more effort for 10% more gain, but for me, it's 100% more gain. You know what I mean? Like, looking at it where it is now, knowing where it could be, knowing at least the idea of what I want it to be, it's like, dude, I can't. This isn't even, like, I'm better than this. Like, this can be better. I don't know, man. Big J, Jesus, this one's in your hands, bro. You know what I mean? All my faith is there. When I start posting content and they start doing well, I had nothing to do with it. All him. You know what I mean? Like, if I start like allowing myself to get caught up in like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm badass, I know how to pull views, blah 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 blah, bro, I'm done. I'm gonna miss the opportunity to pivot and, you know, move over here and, you know, keep growing and stay stagnant, or I'm gonna change it up too quick and get in my own way when it was already, bro, I just can't. It's all him. Everything that comes is him. All the timing is him. I don't know. I just have to trust my heart and see what happens. Like, use my gifts to the best of my ability. Okay. I'm going to start working on that short, because that's what needs to happen first. Is we need to get the content rolling, because that'll give me oxygen. And you know, if that starts doing well, then yes, I can definitely spend more time on this and have more confidence, put more into the idea. But to do that, I